Unit 14. Competition. Recording 14.1.
The credit card business is highly competitive. How do you stay ahead of your competitors?
Well, it's certainly true to say that in the UK especially, the credit card market these days is hugely competitive. When Barclaycard launched in 1966, we were the only credit card in the UK, and it took some 10 or 12 years before we even saw one other competitor in the UK market. Today, if you apply for a credit card in the UK, you can choose between maybe 1,000, 1,500 different cards from different providers. So there is a huge amount of competition out there. The way that Barclaycard tries to maintain a difference to all the rest and tries to stay competitive, we do that in a number of ways. Firstly, we have a brand, a very strong brand in the UK market, which is fairly unique for the credit card market. We've invested in that brand over a long period of time, and certainly it has a level of recognition and stature that our competitors just don't have. We also obviously need to compete on price. We need to make sure that we're always competitive on price. That doesn't necessarily always mean being the very cheapest. We have a tradition of providing our customers with extra value features and services on their cards, which we will continue to do. And we need to innovate. We need to make sure that when things change in the credit card market, people always want what's new and what's exciting. And if you can be the company that provides that for them, then you're going to succeed. But ultimately, the way that we stay competitive is to keep hold of our customers. And the way that you do that is by offering them good service. Most people are very happy to have a credit card and to pay a reasonable sum for that credit card. The reason they will leave you is if you annoy them. So the more we can do to provide good service, look after our customers when they're with us, the more competitive we stay.
Recording 14.2.
Does competition always lead to better goods and services and to better value for customers?
I think that broadly, yes. Competition does provide more services and more goods for customers. And it's really a question of choice. When you look in the credit card market, for example, we're seeing that customers increasingly don't always want to borrow on a credit card. They may look to other forms of borrowing, whether that's a straightforward loan, whether that's some finance from a store or from a shop when they walk into a store, or whether they want to draw down equity against their house. That's to say, to use the value in their house to borrow perhaps at cheaper rates. So customers are getting more and more choice in terms of the way that they borrow. When you look at the credit card market in particular, certainly the quality of goods and services has expanded rapidly in recent years. We have offers in the market today where you can borrow at interest rates as low as 0%, for example, zero interest. When you look back 2 or 3 years, those offers were available for maybe 2 or 3 months. Barclaycard has just released or just launched an offer giving customers 0% interest for 12 months. So free money for 12 months is an incredibly competitive deal. You also see features such as cashback, where you're rewarded for spending on your card with a cash rebate once a year. So ultimately, yes, the market has seen vastly increased competition in recent years, and with that, a lot wider choice for customers. Ultimately, not just more choice, but more choice more cheaply.
Recording 14.3.
How do you see competition affecting the way your business operates in the future?
What we're seeing is a number of different reasons why our customers choose to borrow money. And what we're seeing is a number of different businesses willing to offer them that lending. For example, it's not unusual now for customers to borrow from their supermarket, for example. So we need to make sure that however or why ever our customers want to borrow money, we're able to provide that to them. And that won't always mean borrowing on a credit card. Broadly speaking, people borrow for one of 3 reasons. They borrow to buy major items, a car or a holiday, something like that. They borrow to consolidate other debts, so they put all of their debts in one place so as it's more manageable and they have to make just one monthly payment. Or they borrow in a more traditional way, if you like, for credit cards. They borrow for everyday purchases simply to spread the cost of their monthly spending in a more manageable way. So we need to recognise that customers are borrowing in these three different ways, and we need to make sure that we have the right products and services for them when they choose to do that, and that we're not simply asking them to always borrow on a credit card. That won't always be the right way. So competition is really about providing our customers with increased choice and increased flexibility, and we are becoming much more of a lending business rather than simply a credit card business.
Recording 14.4.
OK, perhaps we could start, as we agreed, by discussing the kind of relationship we want.
OK.
Usually with a major distributor or agent, we don't offer an exclusive agency agreement because they don't want it. They like to use and distribute the products of most of the top companies. They make more money that way.
Yes, a non-exclusive contract would be perfect for us too. As you know, we represent many famous brands and will be happy to add your product lines to our list.
Right. Now, prices. We like to recommend prices for each overseas market. We advise on minimum and maximum prices for each of our models.
No, that's no good for us. We prefer to set the prices for all the products we offer. We know the conditions of the market far better than you. We would set the correct prices to maximise profits, of course.
OK. It's not really a problem if you prefer it that way. I won't argue with you. Now the commission. I suggest a rate of 15% on all the revenue you obtain, either directly or indirectly. Is that OK?
15% is too low. We want at least 20%. The market is very competitive. We'll have to spend a lot on advertising and promoting your products.
Yes, but we could help with this.
How much will you pay us?
Well, we might go 50-50 up to an agreed limit. We can talk about the exact figures later.
I'll have to think about it. We will talk about the commission later.
Let's discuss the length of the contract. Normally we offer 2 years, and to be honest, with a new distributor we prefer a shorter period. Either side can terminate with 60 days' notice.
Well, it must be at least 3 years for it to be profitable for us.
Well, we can talk about it later. I suggest we break for lunch now.
Recording 14.5. 1.
A non-exclusive contract would be perfect for us too.
2.
No, that's no good for us.
3.
We know the conditions of the market far better than you.
4.
I suggest a rate of 15% on all the revenue you obtain.
5.
15% is too low. We want at least 20%.
6.
We could help with this.
7.
How much will you pay us?
8.
We will talk about the commission later.
9.
To be honest, with a new distributor, we prefer a shorter period.
10.
It must be at least 3 years.